Well, g'day everyone and welcome back to the channel. Had a horrible spring this year. It's been really cold and wet, so making a really late start. This is my first garden tour for spring. It's also a bit of a instructional video for the people. I've got house sitting. My daughter's house sitting for a couple of weeks for me while I'm away. I've also got a house sitter coming in, Millie, who seems like a really lovely lass, but doesn't have a lot of gardening experience. So I can give her a bit of advice in this video. Let's go have a look. Just to put it all in context, this is my garden. It is a front yard. There's the footpath out the front. So tiny little space. We've got the long bed out the front. We've got a raised planter here, lots of grow bags, a couple of little planters along this side, and grow bags scattered throughout the place. So starting with the long bed, we've got a couple of Swiss chard plants. These are rainbow chard. At the moment, these ones on the end are doing great. So, you know, Millie, if you're after some Swiss chard, go for it and enjoy yourself. We've got some cucumbers, some Lebanese cucumbers growing up on the trellis this year, where I had trombencios growing last year. I've got some Roma tomatoes coming through in this first section. My jalapenos have struggled. Really cold winter with the really cold spring, and they may not make it back this year. Oregano, I've just pulled a heap of that out. We have some garlic here, which is sending off seeds, so I need to cut that head off before I go. Still got some collies going here. They're not really producing. So again, another tip for Millie, you can pull these out or cut them off if you want and feed them to the chickens. No need to rush them, just give them a bit of green every couple of days. Some more of the Swiss chard. And starting to head to seed. You can see it's getting a stalk on it. This one here is a better example. It's stalked up. I cut the stalk, gave that to the chickens, and it's got multiple stalks coming out of that. That can be cut off and go to the chickens. We have some shallots. These ones are going to seed, so once shallots go to seed, you can pull them and eat them. So if either Millie or Tina are after some onions, they can grab the shallots. Tucked in down here, we've got some okra plants that I've just planted today. It's probably too hot, it's the wrong time of day, and I've watered them at the wrong time of day, but I'm running short on time. Again, more cauliflower there, so more than happy for that to get picked and head to the chickens. And it's really just not doing anything. It's not forming a head up, and the cabbage moth is starting to really get to them. A little bit more okra, some Romas, another Roma that's doing fantastic. Some more okras, oregano, which you can't kill once it gets hold of. All right, up in this section, we've got some more shallots. These ones haven't gone to seed, so they can stay. Some mortgage lifted tomatoes. We have a bit more of the okra. There's the last okra with the tag on it. We have some coriander or some cilantro, which is going to seed, and once it goes to seed, the Americans call it coriander. When it's in vegetative form, they call it cilantro. Weird, but hey. Up here we have the potato onions. They're doing well. A couple more mortgage lifters. Comfrey, that's just doing its thing. It's decided to seed this year, which is cool. Tucked down in here, something new. I'm trying some sugar cane. Very south for it, but we'll see how it goes. Beans growing on this trellis. Again, some of that chard that's headed up to seed, so chickens can have that. We have some rhubarb here as well. scattered through the garden in a few places. We've got chives and my paprika bed. I pulled the paprika. There's a little bit more coriander sitting there. I've got the cell seeds of the paprika coming up. I really don't need to plant this anymore. The cell seeds come up and I'll end up thinning those when I get home. Chinese onion, doing fine. Chinese potato didn't replace this year. This thing will, I don't think it'll ever fruit. Chinese artichoke is coming up. We have sweet potato through here. Pepper bear, pulled most of the old peppers. They didn't make it through the winter. This one I've left and we'll see how it goes. And I've got a couple of Hungarian wax in there so I can make a mild paprika. So, all right, purple potatoes. That one's just been replanted. This one's due for harvest. Look, honestly, he can stay there and just grow up off the ones that are there. Oh, you see there's some up on the surface. We'll just put that back under the ground. Yeah, I really don't have time to harvest it. So Millie, if you're after potatoes, purple potatoes, you can actually pull that one. We got some zucchini. Wasn't going to plant zucchini this year, but if it gets too much, which zucchini you can get way too much, especially if it's only one person eating it. If it gets too much, then I'll just pull them out. Egyptian walking onions have absolutely gone crazy. They've divided up ridiculously. Most of them are heading out, so I could plant these. I really don't need to. Millie and Tina, if you're after onion, just pull some of the edge of these ones and go for it. Potatoes in buckets. We've got some new ones down this end. That one's dying off. That one's ready for harvest. That one's ready for a harvest but started to regrow. So again, either one of those, pick it, absolutely fine. This little raised bed has ironbark pumpkins growing in it, and they're coming along just fine. More purple potatoes. Here I've got some button squash, which is starting to fruit hidden in there. So yep, grab those, eat those, otherwise they're just going to rot. And some more purple potatoes down this end. Coming back up the other way, coffee plants, make sure these stay alive. This is the most important thing in the garden. Make sure my coffee stays alive. We have ginger and the true turmerics that have just been planted out, so they should start coming up soon. A sweet potato that grew off one of the ones that I started in water 2 years ago and has just started growing. More sweet potatoes through here. Ockers. Over in this little central bed, more chives headed to flower. They have such a lovely little flower on them. I've planted some more cucumbers along the back here. More cilantro. Another little shard. It hasn't really done anything. I put some watermelon in this side of the bed. Out the front, some more sweet potato. Do love my sweet potato. The taro. These ones, if you're watering anything, it's these. Taro are water-loving plants, and they normally grow in swamps. So anytime anything gets watered, these get watered. That is a must. If it's warm weather, sort of water everything else every second day. These ones every day. If it's hot weather, yeah, water everything every day. If it's raining, then the potatoes up against the building, They still need a water because the building sort of shelters the potatoes and they don't get too wet. My yacon has finally gone back in. That just went in today. As I said, I've been rushing trying to get everything ready. In here we've got a bit of shard. We've got some leek that's gone to seed, and I'm actually going to collect the seed off that. What else have we got in here? We've got some butternut pumpkins that just went in there today. Some kale which never done a thing. You can see on that one we have a great big cabbage moth caterpillar. So there's another caterpillar up there. So that one's getting pulled and going out the chickens, and they're going to enjoy their little caterpillar treat. Now for anyone who is getting a sitter in, go through, pull your weeds. That's what I've been doing today. I've done my spring feeding for everything. Fertilizer's been spread around. I've just put a light mulch over. It helps to retain the moisture. So if you get someone who doesn't water too well, then you're gonna keep some moisture there and not have your plants die on you. It also helps to keep the weeds down, because your house sitter's not coming to weed, they're coming to enjoy the house, look after the pets, that sort of thing. So a bit of a tip there for the people who are getting a house sitter in. Okay, so the weeds and that kale going down to the girls. Now again, 4 milli. The girls get fed in the morning a scoop combined of seed and feed. In the evening a scoop each of seed and a scoop of feed, and just collect the eggs every day, and that's and refresh the water. That's it. Basically do that and the girls are happy. So they're pretty easy to please. Looking after Bob, pretty simple. He gets 2.5, 3 cups of dry food, couple of spoons of yogurt and an egg each day. Alfie, who's going to be staying with us, he gets the same. And Bobby needs to be told, yes you may, so he feeds. Yes, those are the magic words, aren't they? He'll drop and wait for his food, and when you tell him yes you may, he goes and eats it. All right, so there's a quick garden tour, a bit of a instructions for my house sitter, bit of instruction for people who are getting a house sitter in. Pretty simple. Yeah, at the end of the day, when you come back, you want to find everything alive and growing, and you know, that's pretty much it. All right, thank you very much for watching, and bye for now.